Maxwell has officially released his self-charging device, and today I'll show you exactly what it does, how it works, and where you can get one. Maxwell isn't your typical inventor. No fancy college degree, no billion-dollar laboratory, just pure genius and relentless determination. In 2015, he stunned engineers by unveiling a TV that ran without electricity, a car that recharged itself while driving, and a generator that powered an entire house without fuel. But instead of becoming a global celebrity, he was ignored, dismissed, and even threatened. Why? Because a device that produces free energy doesn't just solve problems, it destroys industries. Fast forward to today. Maxwell's latest invention, a compact self-powered energy unit, is officially on sale. White Heavy Checkmark generates continuous electricity without fuel or sunlight. White Heavy Checkmark Portable, small enough to carry, powerful enough to run appliances. White Heavy Checkmark Zero Maintenance, zero emissions, zero running costs. Imagine powering your home, your farm, your workshop, even your entire business, without ever paying another electricity bill. This isn't just a gadget. It's a revolution in a box. So how does it work? Maxwell describes it as a hybrid electromagnetic system, a mix of magnetic induction and radio wave energy harvesting. In simple terms, it captures ambient energy from its surroundings and recycles into continuous usable power. Think of it like a permanent power loop. Once it starts, it never stops. Many said it was impossible until they saw it working live. Now, this is what you've been waiting for. Maxwell has partnered with insert distributor or official platform, if publicly known. Else say his official company website / registered outlets to make the first batch available to early adopters. I place the official link in the description below. Only use a verified source to avoid scams. If this device delivers everything it promises, we are witnessing the beginning of an energy revolution. Will the world embrace it, or will powerful forces try to suppress it once again? Only time will tell. But one thing for sure, history favors those who act early. If you want more updates on Maxwell's inventions, real free energy breakthroughs, and the technologies the mainstream media won't show you, this is not just a video. This is the future unfolding. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. But before we wrap this up completely, there's something deeper we need to explore. Because Maxwell's invention isn't just about electricity. It's about independence. For over a century, the world has been locked into a system controlled by fuel companies, energy suppliers, and government regulators. They decide how much we pay. They decide when we get power and when we don't. Entire nations have gone to war over oil. Economies rise and crumble based on energy supply. But what happens when one man dares to break that model? What happens when a single device can power homes and villages with no grid, farms in the desert, schools in remote mountains, disaster zones where aid can't reach? Suddenly, energy becomes a human right, not a privilege. And that is exactly why this technology is both celebrated and feared. Reports have already surfaced that major corporations are quietly monitoring Maxwell's moves. Some are interested in partnerships, others, perhaps, in containment, because for them, disruption isn't profit, it's chaos. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Early testers who managed to get prototype units have started sharing footage online. In one clip, a farmer in South Africa powers his entire irrigation system without touching the grid. In another, a family in rural Zimbabwe runs a television, lights, and refrigerator using nothing but Maxwell's device. No noise, no smoke, no cables running across the yard. Just clean, silent power. If even half of these demonstrations are genuine, the world is about to shift. And you, watching this now, are witnessing it happen in real time, or transition into setup for your next video, like the dark side of free energy, or hidden inventors who vanished after similar breakthroughs. But with every groundbreaking invention comes a storm of questions. Will national power utilities fight back to protect their revenue? Will politicians attempt to regulate or even ban decentralized energy systems? Or will we see a new era where governments and innovators collaborate to bring low-cost electricity to every corner of the world? Because make no mistake, control over energy is control over society. Whoever controls power controls progress. And if billions of people suddenly become electrically independent, then the balance of power on this planet shifts forever. And that's why this story goes far beyond Maxwell Chikumbutso. Across history, many inventors have claimed to crack the code of self-sustaining energy. Yet most disappeared quietly, their ideas buried by technical issues, lack of funding, or mysterious circumstances. Some call it coincidence. Others, interference. So the question is, will Maxwell succeed where others were silenced? Well, this time, there's one advantage the world didn't have before. The internet, global awareness, instant communication. A decade ago, an invention like this could be hidden in a lab and forgotten. Today, it's trending on social media, being tested on camera, and reaching millions without a single TV network mentioning it. No matter who tries to shut it down, the story is already out. And that means one thing: the world is watching. People aren't just admiring Maxwell's invention, they're mobilizing behind it. Engineers are offering support. Investors are reaching out. Young students are flooding forums asking, how can I build something like this? Communities in regions with unstable power are already forming waiting lists, hoping to be among the first to receive units. This isn't just technology, it's becoming a movement. But movements attract two kinds of people: those who want change, and those who fear it. Already, subtle resistance is appearing. Articles labeling the device as unverified, analysts calling it too good to be true, influencers dismissing it without testing it. Classic tactics, not to disprove, but to delay belief. You see, disbelief is a powerful tool. If you can convince the world something isn't possible, you never have to fight it. But here's where the strategy fails this time. Unlike past suppressed inventions, this one is entering the market, not as a secret experiment, but as a product, a physical reality. Something people can hold, use, record, and share. You can argue against ideas, but you cannot argue against results. Once thousands, maybe millions, of people start using Maxwell's self-charging device in their daily lives, no corporation, no skeptic, no institution on earth will be able to deny what's in front of them. Free, clean, on-demand power is no longer science fiction. Because when everyday people begin to experience uninterrupted electricity, not as a luxury, not as a monthly bill, but as a human right, they will start asking an even bigger question. If this was always possible, why did we suffer for so long without it? That question alone has the power to rewrite policies, dismantle monopolies, and expose decades of hidden agendas. Imagine rural villages across Africa, Asia, and South America, places where power cuts are part of daily life, suddenly glowing through the night. Imagine schools in remote regions teaching with digital tools for the first time. Imagine hospitals running full capacity without fearing a blackout. Imagine disaster zones no longer waiting for generators, because every rescue team already carries infinite power in a small box. Now, expand that to the West. What happens when homeowners in Europe or America begin unplugging from the grid one by one? What happens when small businesses no longer fear skyrocketing utility bills? What happens when factories decide to run independently without negotiating energy contracts? The world's biggest industries, fuel, electricity, mining, logistics, would never be the same again. And that transformation will not come slowly. It will come all at once. History has shown that revolutions don't start when governments announce them. They start when ordinary people quietly stop obeying the old rules. And that is exactly what Maxwell Chikumbutso's invention represents. Not just a breakthrough in engineering, but a silent declaration of independence. But make no mistake, once independence begins to spread, resistance will intensify. History has never seen a monopoly willingly surrender its throne. When printing presses were invented, kings tried to ban them. When the internet emerged, censors fought to control it. When electric cars began rising, oil giants launched campaigns against them. So what happens when free power becomes reality? Expect lobbying. Expect sudden regulations. Expect safety concerns plastered across headlines. Some countries may welcome the technology. Others might attempt to outlaw it entirely. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's unstoppable. And here's the twist. The more they resist it, the faster it will spread. Because unlike centralized power plants and expensive solar farms, this revolution isn't built on billion-dollar infrastructure. It's built on portable devices, small, replicable, and shareable. If one country bans it, another will adopt it. If one company restricts it, 1,000 innovators will copy it. This won't be a corporate rollout. It will be a grassroots takeover. People won't wait for permission. They'll plug in, switch on, and simply walk away from dependency. And suddenly, energy will no longer be a product. It will be freedom. And when freedom becomes accessible, innovation multiplies. Because once energy is no longer a limitation, humanity enters a new phase of creativity. Farmers will automate without fear of cost. Inventors will build without worrying about electricity. Students will study late into the night without flickering candles or noisy generators. Entire cities could run silent. No smog, no cables, no towering power stations dominating the skyline. Think about transportation. What happens when vehicles no longer rely on charging stations or fuel pumps? What happens when ships, drones, or even aircraft are powered by continuous onboard energy? Logistics would be completely rewritten. Distance would no longer be a challenge, only destination. Think about housing. What happens when remote living is no longer tied to grid connections? People could build homes anywhere, mountains, deserts, forests, islands, without sacrificing modern comfort. Civilization would expand not through conquest, but through energy abundance. And this is where the true impact of Maxwell's invention reveals itself. It's not just about replacing electricity bills. It's about unlocking a future where every human being is free to build, create, explore, and progress without asking permission from a grid. But this raises one final question. Are we, as a society, ready for that kind of freedom? Because freedom is a double-edged gift. It empowers, but it also exposes. When people no longer have external obstacles, the only limits left are internal ones. What will we do when excuses disappear? What will we create when energy is no longer a barrier? What kind of world will emerge when innovation is unchained? And perhaps that is the real test ahead. Maxwell Chikumbutso may have built the machine, but we will decide its legacy. This device can do more than power homes. It can power change. It can lift entire nations out of darkness. Not just literal darkness, but economic, social, and psychological darkness. It can prove that the future does not have to be controlled by corporations, governments, or gatekeepers. It can prove that one idea, born in one mind, can redefine the world, but only if we choose to support it, protect it, and use it wisely. Because in the end, the greatest invention is not a generator, a battery, or a circuit. It is belief. Maxwell has done his part. Now the question is, will we rise to meet the future, or let fear drag us back into the past? The self-charging device is here. The energy revolution has begun. Whether you join it is up to you. Tech, where innovation meets the road. The future of mobility starts here, only on Tech. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about Elon Musk, Maxwell, Tesla, and the future of innovation. Until next time, keep imagining the impossible.